Welcome back to the channel, folks. It's Monday. It's time for the Monday Master Plan. Let's dive right into it. Given tomorrow's Tuesday, you know their clan quests are going to reset, so if you haven't already completed your quests, let's go ahead and get into that, as well as scoop up anything from the shop that you're really wanting to buy. As far as Tag Team Arena, this should be a week with their defenses down if you're interested in pages like this, and that would be perfect because this is in the middle of our Tag Team Arena tournament. If you're interested in farming the Frost Spider, you have about 1 week and 3 days to complete what you're able to. Probably not going to be able to get through all normal and hard, but you'll be able to push pretty far in that time. So go ahead and start making that progress now if you haven't done already so. Same is going to go for the secret rooms. As far as current events, we have a Fire Night tournament that's going for the current Fusion, as well as a Tag Team Arena tournament and a Spider tournament using Epic Only champions. Tag Team Arena Tournament is an auto-include for everybody. The barrier to entry is extremely low and everybody should be doing it. It costs you no resources but time, and that's why you alternate your defenses from defenses up to defenses down. The Fire Night rewards really aren't that good, but it is for the Fusion, so if you're participating in the Fusion, this is obviously an auto go for. But if you're not doing the Fusion and you're just trying to farm a little bit of Fire Night gear, getting up to 1800 is totally reasonable. There's also a Spider tournament using only Epic champions that has some Prism crystals in it, as well as some of the medium oils or extracts, as well as some other good rewards that I think for most players that aren't going for the Fusion is going to be worth your time. But whether you're going for the Fusion or not, the Dungeon Divers event is probably going to be a pretty good one starting tomorrow, so make sure you're double dipping your Fire Night points or your Spider points with this Dungeon Divers, because it's going to benefit both people, those who are going for the Fusion and those who are not. The Dungeon Divers event is going to have fragments, obviously, for the Fusion, but it also at the same time is planning on having Prism crystals according to the Plarium calendar. There's also a run-of-the-mill artifact enhancement event that's going to be worth it for the Fusion as well, obviously, but if you're looking to roll some gear up, now's not a terrible time to do it as well. As far as the Prism shards that you're able to get from the Spider tournament and the Dungeon Divers, it's pretty much a banger of an event. The only way that this could get better is have some Void champions within it, but for the most part, really every champion in here is really solid and definitely worth going for. I know for myself, I'm going to be pushing to get my Prince Kymar, but keep in mind, typically buying these shards are poor deals, but playing for the free rewards in-game is a great deal. There's really not even a bad Epic in here, so if you're free to play or early game, I think this is your opportunity to get a pretty high quality champion by not paying and just by progressing in the game through the Spider or not. I'm assuming most people know this by now, but you can farm stage 10 and get high levels of 5-star gear, so they bang for buck energy wise. This is the way to go, and you can do it with a really easy, quick and fast team right here. You can just nuke it down in a matter of seconds. Yes, my game is higher level, but really it's such a low level that most people should be able to get right through it. It's just a matter of a couple big hits and the boss is down, and I do have a third nuker just in case we don't get all the way home. 14 seconds, 16 points. It's not a terrible deal, but realistically, you do have to keep in mind the number of points varies as high to 32 or as low to about 16, given that you can get bruise or mystery shards. Given the current state of events, you should have, if you've completed everything so far, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 40, 50 total points if you've completed everything, but realistically with the date being right here, you really only have a little bit of time. You might have, let's say you skip this, that's down to 40, and maybe you don't have Fire Night in it done yet because you're trying to double dip with Dungeon Divers. So if you haven't done Fire Night yet, and you should be at about 35 points. Anything less than that, you're kind of worried about your progress and actually completing the Fusion. Keep in mind though, you can double dip with the Dungeon Divers, so that's a good opportunity, but you're also going to have that same opportunity with Dragon and Dungeon Divers on Thursday and Friday, and then lastly the end of Dungeon Divers with the last bit of Dragon on Saturday and Sunday, and the first bit of Spider Sunday and Monday, and the last bit of Dungeon Divers. So look for those opportunities. Don't be farming those dungeons unless you're contributing towards a Dungeon Divers. So as I go into the shop, you kind of look around, and it's kind of the same thing as always. There's really nothing too great, but this Liberty Pack is not too bad. You're getting each shard for about $1, a little bit more, but you get a little bonus reward. So if you were going to purchase something, I actually think this Liberty Pack is a just fine buy if you're somebody who's a little bit conservative with their money. As far as the Prism crystals go, it's again, I just don't think it's a good idea. There's no mercy. A lot of things could go wrong. And like right, this here is about only one pull, so you would need to buy quite a few of these, 7 of these, to get one bonus pull, to get the 8th pull. I don't really think it's worth it, but if you're really into the champions that are there, this is probably a pretty solid one, but I would still recommend you to stray away. So my plan for the week is to farm this spider tournament and then check out the right side rewards of the events that are available. This one's going to be pretty straightforward because I'll use my extra energy here, but once I get to reset, I'm going to hold on to it and go whole hog during the dungeon divers. Otherwise, folks, that's the whole video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you on the other side.